Thank you everyone who submitted your introduction, and for those of you who have already turned in the stock taking essay. I've enjoyed reading through those, and I look forward to getting the rest of them. I wanted to very briefly give you just a few pointers to the way ahead. Some of you have already dipped your toes into the book, and you've gotten started again with the essay or with some of the quizzes and the reading. What are we doing in this class? We're thinking about what it means to live well. Every culture throughout human history has asked this question in some way. What does it mean to live well? And the philosophy they produced, the religions they produced, the spirituality they produced, all have gone some way to answer that. Surprisingly, many of these cultures come to similar conclusions, but I don't want to get us too far ahead of ourselves. We in America live in one of those cultures. It's American culture. And there are ways that these questions are answered of what constitutes a good life. Many of you are Americans and Christians. And Christianity as a religious system has other answers that are sometimes in harmony with American values and sometimes in tension. Some of you in this class are coming from other countries, from Mexico, from Spain, from Rwanda, from Sudan. And you're coming from cultures with values that are different from American values. Some of you may be coming from faiths other than Christianity. What we want to do in this class is for you to really examine what you think, what you believe, what you hold as a vision of the good life. And I'm going to push you a little bit to get past what you might kind of quickly put down on a piece of paper. Oh, I'm a Christian, and so this is what I think. If you started the stock taking exercise, you may have already begun to see some inconsistencies. And that's something that, again, I'll push you on a little bit through this course. For instance, if you say, my highest value is loving other people, that's good. And then we get to the section on and how to use your money. And let's say you say, well, I mostly buy things for myself. Well, there's an inconsistency there. If loving other people is truly your highest value, then how do you show that? Are you giving your money? Are you sharing your time? Is your attention given to other people? Now, what we're not trying to do in this class is to say, hey, everyone should be a Christian, or hey, if you are a Christian, you need to have like crosses on everything and Jesus 100% of the time. The goal of this class is for you to examine your worldview and to adjust it to make it more consistent and more compelling. Part of that means examining the easy answers that we give and, stepping back and saying, is that true? Is that right? And this is an act of self-knowledge. It's getting to know yourself and trying to push below what you think is the right answer, what you think you should say, to what is really the case. And some of you have already started doing this in your stock taking exercise. You've been very honest. You said, well, I'd like to say this, but if I'm being honest, this is where I'm at right now. I want you to be honest in this course, not for my sake, but because you're going to get the most out of it if you are as open and honest as possible. My job here is not to judge you or to, push you into this or that direction, but it is to push you to be as honest with yourself as you can be, and as consistent with your own aspirations as you can be. The first chapter that we're going to look at in the book is what's worth wanting. What is the highest values in life? And again, there might be an answer like God or community or knowledge, something like this. But then, as we'll see in the book, the American values that we're most familiar with say long life, good health, and financial security. These are your highest goals. What if we're actually living those goals, but we're claiming these goals? Well, there's going to be a disconnect. How are you going to deal with that? Well, you can either adjust your goals to fit what you're actually striving for, or you might change what you're striving for and the things that you're doing. Again, how you use your time, your money, and your resources to meet your goals. You have to decide this. It's not for any of the rest of us to decide. But these are the sorts of things we're going to be doing in this class. asking big questions about what matters most to you. What's your authority in life? What kind of moral standard do you hold to? Where does it come from? And along the way, we're going to look at a lot of different cultures. We're going to look at Confucian culture. We're going to look at Buddhist culture. You saw that in the introduction. We'll look at stories from Native American culture, Islamic culture, all around the world. And we will use those cultures to think with. The goal is not to become Muslim or Buddhist, but even as a Christian, I can use those traditions to help me be a better Christian, be a more consistent Christian. So, for example, family is an important value in America. A lot of people really value family. Family is not necessarily a super high value within Christianity. Jesus didn't talk a lot about family, didn't have a great relationship with some of his own family members. He put other things first, like the kingdom of God. Same with the Buddha. He actually left his wife and kid to go be a wandering monk. So, can you be a Christian and love your family? Sure. But the highest values of that tradition may be different than you think and may be different than you're currently practicing. So what does that mean? Well, I hope this helps as you're thinking through things. The stock-taking essay is foundational. We'll come back and look at that throughout the semester. It's like a freeze frame of who you are in this minute. And from this point forward, you're going to go back to that essay and treat it like it's another person. Like if you just found an essay on the beach and it's describing how a person uses their time, their money, what they look at on the internet, what would you say about that person? You know, who are they? What are they really all about? What do they really care about and value? That's the kind of thing that you're going to be doing with these essays in the weeks to come. Well, that's enough for now. I just wanted to give you a little heads up. And if you have any questions or comments, please reach out. Always happy to chat.